Have you ever felt like you are running in circles, doing 1,000 things, but never getting closer to your big dreams? We often use the words goals or objectives interchangeably, but they are actually two very different tools in a Christian woman's toolkit. Today, we're answering the question, what is the purpose of goals and objectives? And by the end of this episode, you will understand how to stop winging it and start winning it by aligning your big vision with daily action steps. And we're going to help you solve the pain of busy burnout by showing you how to measure your success by obedience, not just exhaustion. We're moving from scattered ideas to a tactical roadmap. Stay tuned. Ordinary women, extraordinary faith. When God calls, we say yes. The Arise Women of God podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Arise Women of God podcast. I'm your host, Tamara K. Anderson, and joining me today is Amanda Powell of our Women Warriors of Light Advisory Board, an amazing goal-setting expert. We are getting into the mechanics of goal progress today. First, we're going to define the strategic vision of a goal versus the tactical steps of an objective. Second, Amanda shares her business secret for reaching 100 sponsors by breaking them down into daily phone calls. Third, we'll discuss the dopamine of a checklist. Why checking boxes is actually a spiritual asset for some and a burden for others. And finally, we'll talk about the Bubble Bath Fallacy. Why success doesn't equal being busy and how to find rest in the seasons of life. But first, let's break down the difference between a goal and an objective.
A goal is what you want to do in that amount of time, right? However long you get that. So it's either what you want to do or who you want to become. Because sometimes, like if you do a fitness goal, you're going to become something, right? And a lot of times that what and become kind of go together. Because when you work on a goal, it's going to change you in some way or form. The objectives then are your feet moving. It is the daily action steps that you are going to take to ensure that you reach that goal.
The goal is the mountain peak you see through the telescope, but the objectives are the footsteps you're taking right in front of you. If you only stare at the mountain, you might trip over the rocks. Amanda uses this powerful principle every day in her event planning business to make sure she actually hits those big targets. And she's going to break down this secret for us right now.
So just in the scope of, I'll talk about my business world a little bit. So I do events, and our goal is that we're going to do 5 events. And at time I would pull it up and just read you exactly how specific my goal is, because it's very specific. It tells we're going to have 5 events. It talks about what the events are going to be called. So we already know them. How many people, ticket sales that I want to have sold, how many speakers I'm going to have. Like, it's all right there. And then it's got the end of the year on it. So then my objectives then are for this first quarter, my job is to network with companies that I want to speak. I've already decided who I'm trying to target and get. So now I have to reach out to them. So my daily tasks. So like for today, I am reaching out to 3 different companies that I would like to come and present. And I've got my first email that goes out to them. I've got my phone call that goes out to them. Like, I've got it all right here on how I'm going to do that. Once that happens, then I'm going to schedule a Zoom meeting with all of them, right? So it's all those little tiny tasks that's going to lead to getting to this goal up here. And I would say the one thing that I would say is that the goal is broad and vague. If it's broad and vague, your daily action steps are going to be broad and vague. It's going to be harder to get them to come down. I take my goal and I make it as specific as I can, right down to ticket sales, right? We will sell 100 tickets. And have 10 sponsors. Like, that is in my goal. So in order for me to have 10 sponsors, I know that I got to reach out to 100 companies, right? I got to reach out to 100. So in my objective, that's what I'm working on, is by the end of the quarter, I've got to make sure that I've reached out to at least 100 to get my 10. So then I break that down into my daily tasks. If I've got to reach out to 100 to secure 10, how many am I contacting in a day? Right? That is my one focus. When that focus is done, now I'm focused on venues, and I'm focusing on where are we going to host this. So I try to do 4 objectives with every goal because it goes right along with the quarter, right? And 1, you get to celebrate your successes. It helps you measure the gain and not the gap. It definitely helps you, but also lets you know if you're going to meet that goal.
Isn't it amazing that specific objectives take the mystery out of the miracle? When you know you need to call 3 companies today, the giant goal stops feeling so scary and unachievable. But once you have the list, how do you actually feel about it? Are you a box checker like me, or does the list itself feel more like a weight? Can I just say I'm a huge fan of checking a to-do list off? So these little objectives that you're doing and you get to check off, oh, that does my heart good. I feel like I've accomplished something at the end of the day. But if I put a big goal on there, so I have my to-do list on the right side of my planner page, and yes, I still use a physical planner. Some people really like to do it on their phone. I like to have it in front of me and actually check it off with a pen. I don't know why. I'm a little old-fashioned, I guess. But on the left-hand side of the page, sometimes I'll write my weekly goals. And then I've got my monthly goals up on my whiteboard, and I've got weekly goals up on my whiteboard, and I get to check them off there too, because if you get to check it off in 2 places, it's even better.
And so many people, Tamara, love to check the box. I am not a box checker. I'm not. I just want to be like, okay, it's done. I'll make the list. I'm more of a I don't know. That's just not, I do not love checking off the box, but I will, but it's not my thing. Isn't that crazy how some of us love it and some of us are like a box?
You just want to get it done.
I just want to get it done. Yes.
Whether you love checking off a box or actually hate it, the purpose is still the same: to keep your mission from being forgotten. But as women, we have to be careful. We often confuse being busy with being successful. And if we aren't careful, we end up needing a mountain of bubbles just to survive the stress we put ourselves in. So set a reasonable amount of goals and objectives for a reasonable amount of time.
Yep.
Be wise as you're setting your goals so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Because often, and I think we have this challenge, especially as women, we are juggling so many balls in the air. Woo, I'm doing this and this and this and this, that we burn out. And then we feel bad because then we don't accomplish anything and we get really down on ourselves and discouraged and all that stuff. So, yeah, word of caution, be wise in your goal setting. Yeah. Take time if you're feeling super overwhelmed to look at everything you're doing and decide which of these things is really helping me versus what can I get rid of. And I often do that prayerfully because sometimes I feel like God wants me to do a whole bunch of stuff, but when I pray about it, he's like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like, oh, sometimes us as women, we feel like we measure success by how busy we are. That's a measurement to us that we take on. And then we're like at the end of the day exhausted, and there's not enough bubbles that can go in the bubble bath to take away all of the stress that we've just allowed to be put on us just because we think that success equals busy life, when that's not what it has to look like at all.
And so maybe one of the goals that you should throw out there is that I will lead a more balanced life. I know that's something I had to really look at several years ago because I had that extreme work-life balance imbalance where my parents were really, really bad examples of this. And that's the way I learned to do it. You go to work, after you have dinner, you're working clear till the hours of the night, and then you go to sleep and you rinse and repeat. And that's what success looks like. Yeah. And my husband, thank goodness, is a better example. He does his work, he's done, and he takes the evening and he spends it with family. And I'm like, that is such a better way to live life, to live more balanced. And so just remember in your goal setting and your objectives, find that balance and realize that rest is a part of that. Yes. And it's okay.
Yes. And the seasons of time, right? Like we have seasons for a reason. We could learn so much from our seasons if we would just allow that. There is a time to rest and renew.
Objectives are simply the daily bread of your big vision. If you're ready to stop measuring your worth by your busyness and start measuring it by alignment to God, go download our A Guide to Goal Setting for Christian Women. It's free on our Women Warriors of Light website, and it will help you define your big goal that God knows you can achieve when you set it with Him. And if you need a community to help you reverse engineer your divine mission without burning out, go check out our Women Warriors of Light accountability group. The links are in the description below. So, my friends, take one purposeful step today. Check off that objective and move towards your goal. And until next time, may you arise, do it God's way, God strong.